Your spouse is here, but they are already gone. They're in the house, but not in the home, sitting across from you, but million miles away. My friend, what you are living out right now has a name, and the enemy is counting on you never to find out what it is. But today, we name it, we face it, and by God's grace, we're going to break it in the name of Jesus. I am talking about emotional withdrawal. Yes, what I called the ghost spouse. And I'm going to show you what emotional withdrawal really looks like and why it happens. And most importantly, the biblical path and the practical pathway to get back to each other again. So let's have this conversation. Welcome back to the show. If you're new, I am Dauren, and this is not easily broken. Number one, let's talk about what is emotional withdrawal. Emotional withdrawal is when one or both spouse are physically present in the marriage, but emotionally, relationally, and intimately checked out. They are in the house, but not in the home. They are at the dining table, right? Or the dinner table, depending on where in the world you're from, but they're not having a conversation. They are in bed, but not in relationship. And here is what makes it so dangerous. It does not look like a crisis from the outside. The bills are getting paid, right? You still go to church. You still post family pictures, right? But behind closed doors, there is this quiet loneliness that no one, watch this, no one can see. But you and your spouse are carrying it, and it is growing slowly, and you don't even know it. The Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 22, 23, and 24, uh, um, the Bible said that when Adam opened his eyes and saw Eve, this is Genesis chapter 23, he saw this beautiful woman and he spoke into her life. He said, "You're a bone of my bone, you're flesh of my flesh. I will call you woman because you came out of me. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." That Genesis chapter 24, 2 verse 24. You see, my friend, when two people are in a house just managing or co-managing the household and you're now living like roommates, you're not building, man. You're dying. And you're dying a slow death. Emotional withdrawal split, right? That oneness quietly, gradually, until two people who promised each other to love, to cherish, to be together forever, you're now acting like you're strangers. I mean, it's crazy, but it's true. A lot of people are like that in marriages today. And this is the ghost spouse. That's what I call it, the ghost spouse. And if you're honest with me or honest with yourself, you're either going through this or you know someone that is living like this right now. And my friend, I want to just say this real quick. If you're getting value from this video, I would like you to hit that like button. Please share. It is the best way that you can show your support for this channel. And please subscribe if you have not hit that subscribe button yet. What are you waiting for? We create content that's going to help you to build a better life and a better marriage. Now, I want to talk about 5 warning signs of the ghost spouse. That spouse that is missing. 5 warning signs. What are the things that you need to recognize? Number 1, conversation stays surface level. You talk about the kids, you talk about the bills, you talk about schedule, you talk about going to the supermarket, you talk about fixing the car, fill up the car with gas, all that kind of stuff is the mortgage pay, but you never talk about how you actually feel. The real vulnerable conversation has stopped, and neither of you is pushing past the surface level anymore to connect. That's dangerous. Okay, sign number 2, affection as quietly disappear. No touching, no intimacy, no kissing, none of that stuff. No compliment, no rubbing the shoulders, no rubbing the back. I'm just talking about no rubbing, no touching, just nothing. The how and the why just seems to be just there's nothing. It's gone. Those things fade slowly. And here's the problem, right? The problem is when you are just sitting back and just waiting for the next spouse to initiate. Okay, let's continue because I got some things to help you fix that. Sign number 3, one spouse has stopped bringing up problems. You stop bringing up the problems. This one is very critical because when a spouse stops complaining, They stop initiating. They stop talking about the problem. You are already in danger, my friend, because it means that you have been so far gone from the relationship that you don't even allow what they're doing to you bother you anymore. You just give up. They used to fight for the marriage, and now they have gone quiet. And quiet is not always peace. Sometimes quiet is surrender. Y'all ain't talking to me. Sign number 4. You feel alone even when you are together. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You're in the same house, the same room, the same couch, and you just feel distant. You sit in the same car and you have a quiet drive for 45 minutes. Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? Are you crazy? What kind of game is that? That feeling is not your imagination. It is the fruit of disconnection. Sign number 5, intimacy has become transactional or non-existent. Ooh. You guys don't have sex anymore. No kissing, no touching, no emotional, no spiritual intimacy, no vulnerability, nothing, nada, zilch, dry up. The pond is dry, nothing. That's scary. Oh, that is very, very scary. And when intimacy dries up, distance moves right in. Some of you guys are living in different space of the house. You don't sleep in the same bed. Your spouse sneezes and you don't say, God bless you. I mean, you do nothing. That is a sign that you're having problems. And by way of announcement, my friend, if you're going through marital problems right now, you're frustrated in your marriage and you'd like to build a better marriage, want to communicate better, want to synchronize better, you want to learn how to add value to each other's lives, I want you to do something for yourself. I want you to click the link in the description and book a free consultation to learn more about our marriage makeover coaching program to see if you fit what we are building, what we're teaching, and the transformation that are happening in a lot of the couples that we're working with. You have nothing to lose but 35 minutes of your time. Let's go. Let's get busy. Let's get active. And so, my friend, I want to talk a little bit about the GRACE framework. Because what I'm talking to you about now, it is where you can find it in our system that we teach, the GRACE, G.R.A.C.E, GRACE. That is the framework. That's the principle. That is the pillar that we use. And this particular problem that you're dealing with, it is now anchored. It's anchored under the C in GRACE. Connect deeply. You see, the Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 2 and verse 23 that after Adam saw Eve for the first time, he said that you're bone of my bone, your flesh of my flesh, I will call you woman because you came out of me. You see, my friend, Adam was relating to connecting rather to Eve at the relational, at the emotional, at the intimacy level. In other words, he was saying to Eve that you and me, we are one. We got this. We can build this. We can do this together. We can become the best version of ourselves. You and I, we are connected for life. I am your safest place outside of your relationship with God. I will create a space that you can feel safe and you can feel vulnerable in. I am going to create a space that you can thrive in. And Eve just take that information and say, I got you too, Adam. I am all of that for you and more. I'm going to be the kind of wife you love coming home to. I'm going to make sure that you and I, we work on each other. We work and build something special. That's what it's about. And the C in GRACE is what you have to work on. Connect deeply, connect emotionally, intimately, spiritually, sexually, and relationally. All right. I want to give you 3 practical steps to reconnect starting today. I want to give you something to work with. Step number 1, name the distance out loud without blame. Yes, talk about it. Name it. Call it out. Have conversation, and talk about the problem. Hey, listen, I like it better when you and I used to have date nights. I feel like we have been so distant. I miss us. I miss you. Can we talk about it? You see the difference? You didn't approach it and say, oh, you never, you always. I don't like you because you're always doing this to me. I don't know why I marry you. Maybe we just need to get a divorce. That's not the attitude. That's your pain speaking. That's just a symptom of a deeper pain that you're dealing with. And that one sentence can really hurt the marriage. But when you say, I feel better when I miss you, I would like us to start to work on getting better. You're moving towards each other. And that, my friend, is what crack open the wall that has been building up for months. You cannot reconnect around something you refuse to name. So name it, call it out, talk about it. Okay, step number 2, create a daily 10-minute of connection ritual. 10 minutes. Put away the stupid phone. Put away the new marriage killer. Leave it away. Put it aside. Let it go. Leave it somewhere. Throw it away. I don't care what you do with it, but spend at least 10 to 15 minutes a day. At least 10 to 15 minutes a day is way too little. But if you can just do that, no kids, no phone, just in your space, I don't care. Go for a walk, go for a drive, sit on the back. I don't care. Just make sure that you're not distracted and you lean into each other. Don't talk about schedule. Don't talk about the kids. Don't talk about nothing. Just the two of you connecting, bonding, fusing together. How are you today? How do you feel? How was work? Really? No way. Can we talk about it? You know, just be present. Come on, be present. My God, man. Can you all stop the madness and get busy just loving and caring for each other again? Okay. Can we move on? Number 3, bring God back into the center of your marriage. Ooh, Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord. Help me, Lord. Bring God back into the center. You got to pray together. And if your spouse don't like to pray, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You do the praying. Listen, you don't need your spouse's permission to put them before God. All you need is a reason to pray. And I'm giving you a whole lot of reason to pray, because if this is resonating with you right now, it means that you are in a state and in a place in your marriage where you need to really take this weight and this burden to the cross. Take it to the Lord. Leave it at Calvary. Surrender this marriage and surrender this problem and surrender your spouse and yourself to the Lord. A praying spouse is a very powerful spouse. Come on, somebody. Help me, Lord. And that is the reason why the G in the grace framework is so important. God first. Your spiritual life is the most important part of your life. And when that is right, you know exactly how to anchor this in the Lord. Hello, talk to me. And so, my friend, as I land this, I want to leave you with this before we close, before I go. The fact that you are watching this video tells me something about you. It tells me that you still care about your marriage. You care about where you are. You care about where you're going. It tells me that there is still something in you that believe that this marriage can be better. I believe that there's something in you that is crying out that I want to move forward. I want to be a better me. Your spouse may be withdrawing from you, and you probably just decided to just stay in your own corner, and they stay in their own corner. Get out of your corner. Start to show yourself. Put on some makeup if you're the wife. Dress up a little bit. Start to exercise. Read a book. Do something. And smile once in a while. Say hello. Hi, how you doing? And see how that works. It means that your marriage is calling for something. It's calling for encouragement. It's calling for humility. It's calling to return to God who designed this covenant in the first place. You were designed, right, for deep, real covenant connection, not just to coexist in a marriage. And you got to tell the devil that you didn't join me and you're not going to break me. You got to tell the devil that I bind you up and I send every issues and every plan, every problems that you're trying to come against my marriage. I'm sending it back to the pit of hell. And I'm going to stand in agreement with my spouse, or I'm going to stand with God until they get the answer from the Lord, what they need to do to come and align in this marriage so that the both of you guys can work and become better version of yourself. But let me tell you something. This is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking when you are in a marriage and you feel so alone and so terrible because you feel like you are living with a stranger than living with a soulmate. I pray this was a blessing to you. And if it is, we're going to ask you a big favor. We're going to ask you to like. We're going to ask you to share, subscribe to this channel. And if you're going through marital problems and you'd like to learn more about our marriage makeover coaching program, I want you to click the link in the description, book a free consultation, and get on our calendar so that we can help you to build a better life and a better marriage. May God bless you. I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Be blessed.